Good morning, everyone. It's Monday. Hello. Oh my god, I'm already croaking. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to mute you there. The irony is, I've just sat here talking at my computer for the past, like 15 minutes because I've been setting up speech recognition software, and it's now that my voice gives out. Hi. So this is going to be a weird one because I'm kind of here because I don't know how I'm going to study today and I need to work it out. So I wanted to write one of the academic paragraphs today, which on Friday I talked about sort of how I was going to approach it and doing that and then going in and then weaving the character in. So where on Friday I said the flare I was in last week seemed to be improving, that didn't happen. It didn't continue, rather. So I can't actually, I don't know why I feel like I need to lift my hand up for illustration, maybe to prove I have a hand to indicate that it's a problem. That makes no sense. Okay, so like late yesterday afternoon, something like that, I started to get pain in my left hand. Now, years ago, that's one of the ways my pain presented itself. I had really, really painful hands, wrists, elbows, shoulders. I thought originally it was RSI because obviously I do a lot of typing. I went to the doctor and they said, oh, well, it could be that, but we'll do some tests just to make sure. And it turned out I had vitamin deficiencies, which have now been fixed. But I think also it may well have been the fibro as well. So I'm not surprised that the pain has come back in my hands. It has been in my hands at points. Like often I've got full body pain, obviously it's in my hands then, but a lot of the time my pain is isolated as well. So right now it's basically in my entire left side. It's in every joint. And that got worse and worse through yesterday, to the point that when I went to work, I had to tell my staff, I'm here, but I can't type to you. And in the end, what I did was I typed one-handed because my right hand is mostly okay. I started to get pain in it last night because I'd been typing one-handed, which is partly why I bought speech recognition software today and installed it, so that I have a way to not just ruin my other hand instead, especially because, you know, I need my other hand for doing things like eating, getting dressed. Getting dressed one-handed is fun. Not as fun as getting in and out of the bath was one-handed, but yeah, so the pain is really, really bad. It is really sharp and it is constant. It's basically in all the joints, but also if I sort of do that with my hand, or like at the moment I'm holding that hand in a very neutral position like this, but the moment that I try and do anything, I made a fist so that I would be able to explain to you what happens. So the pain goes up my arm as well as being in my hand. It's especially bad in my wrist and in my shoulder joint. And yeah, it's kind of everywhere in that arm. And then also in my left hip and my left knee and my left ankle. But that's more standard. It tends to be there a lot of the time. So I had a really bad night last night. I realise I've just said also that all of the pain happened on Friday when in fact it happened yesterday. I'm just very confused about what day of the week anything is. So roll that back. I felt better Friday and Saturday, and then yesterday it all went super bad. As you can see, my brain is also a little bit foggy. So I was very lucky actually last night that I happened to be in Hello It's Colo stream. And if you're familiar with Colo, she's amazing. If you're not familiar with Colo, please go follow. I need a shout out command. I don't have one yet. I'd have to type it one-handed anyway. But so Colo has a lot of hand pain as well, and so it was lovely to be in her stream talking about different accessibility problems and the things that she's doing, and I felt, and all of the community sharing things, and I felt really, you know, empowered by that and a lot better for it. So going to sleep was really hard because I wrapped myself in my heated blanket first of all, which did help, but then I just overheated, which is very easy. Especially if I use the blanket in bed, because our mattress has, it's not entirely memory foam, but it's got a layer of memory foam on the top, which means that it eats the heat from my blanket or from any of my, like my heated vest or anything like that, which is kind of good because it helps keep the heat, but also it means that it's too hot if I'm there for too long. So I had multiple attempts at going to bed. I got in, I tried for a bit, I realised that wasn't working, I went and did some jigsaw. Thank God I started a jigsaw a few days ago because yeah, I don't know what I would have done otherwise because I can do that one-handed. The only thing I have to make sure is that I don't, because if I lean on this arm right now, then obviously the pain in my shoulder gets bad. So I have to be careful not to like lean forward on my arm, which I've realised I do quite a lot when I'm using the other hand to move pieces. So anyway, I didn't hit record. Oh well, that's fine. I was just like, I can't see my duration thing, but that's because that's from the recording and it's not there. Oh my god, right. See, I'm actually here and streaming so that I can work my brain out. Yeah, so eventually I did get to sleep. I think it was probably about 3 or 4 when I got to sleep, and then I got up at 9 and, well, not at 9, sometime between 9 and 10. I swear to God, every time I talk about having not had much sleep, I yawn. Okay, so that's where we are now. So I've gotten up, I've gotten the speech recognition software, because the thing is that the pain is a little bit better, but I suspect it's only a little bit better because I haven't been using this arm. And I've got to work again tonight. I really wanted to do some studying. And one of the things that Colo said in her stream yesterday was, because her condition is likely to be one that flares and then remits in the same way that mine is. So she was saying what she wants to do is put in all of the things she'll need for when it's bad, when it isn't bad, and to make sure that she has everything so she can still do anything she wants to in that time. So that makes sense to me. So that's why I bought this speech recognition software, which is, I've been on my phone, I've been using the inbuilt Android one, which is obviously Google's one. That's actually very good for my phone. That's fine there, but obviously that for this computer and for my laptop doesn't work so well. So what I've done is I bought Dragon, which is basically the speech to text software. I used it to write the tweet when I went live. I used it to write the stream title. Seems to be going well. I really can't shrug. Shrugging hurts. Yeah, so that's one of the things I've done. Hopefully my chair will arrive at some point today. I won't be able to put it together alone. I'll need to ask my husband to do it either for me or with me. Probably with, because I'm not very good at managing 4, although he's been great. And if this carries on, I'm gonna need more help. Like I had a bath last night, which did really help with the pain for a bit. I actually burst into tears when I put my hand in the water because it felt so much better all of a sudden. Which is what heat does basically, I think it gives me a different sensation, so my brain focuses on the heat sensation, not the pain sensation, which makes sense actually with it being fibro-based pain. But yeah, like I didn't wash my hair when I was in the bath because I can't wash my hair one-handed very easily. And I almost didn't get out the bath on my own. And it just feels like another step after so I've written about how getting a walking stick and using a stick was a really big thing for me, like a really big step to take because it made my disability visible. I don't need it all the time, so I worried that it was bad that I'd gotten one because like I was pretending to be worse than I was or something, but it is the nature of my condition that I'm better sometimes and worse others. Sometimes I need it, and I really do need it, and I know that because I've tried going to the supermarket without it at points when the pain is bad. We now actually have I have this one. I don't know if I've ever shown this on stream. So it's got a Monet painting on it. It's really lovely. This is my main stick. But then I've also got the shitty, boring black one that I bought on Amazon a year ago when I was needing it to get to uni. And that one just lives in the car now. So if I get in the car and then realise, oh no, I should have brought this with me, it's not a problem because there's always one there. And both of them, I don't know if you could see that, both of them are folding ones. You can just about see one of the joins there. So it's also really easy for me in the distant future when I get to go places again to put them in my bag and always have it with me. And this really feels like that. This feels very, very much a sort of landmark moment of, hang on, I need to, my arm wants to be in a different place, but I'm limited on places where I can put it. No, actually, if I rest it on, does that help? No, that's just weird. What you can't see is that I'm just like resting the bad wrist on things to see if it helps. Just on the desk appears to be the best one right now. Yeah, it feels like a threshold that I'm passing through where I'm realizing how different things really are and how serious things really are. And that's really scary because for a long time I wanted things to be worse, but that desire came from my brain weasels wanting me to suffer rather than from me personally, and also from things like spending years trying to prove that my disability was serious when it was just, no, I can't do air quotes properly. Hold on, if I sort of, there we go. Just my mental health. Although it wasn't, as it now turns out, because I've been in pain for a decade and a bit. I think I was 19, 20 when the pain started, so like 23 years. Not 23 years, 13 years. Oh my god. Actually, I think I might... Apparently I do have brain fog today as well. Yeah, so it's a lot to process. And sometimes when that happens, actually working and studying is the best thing I can do, because it gives me something to focus on, but equally I want to write academic stuff, and if my brain is currently at the point where it thinks that 20 plus 13, or like 33 minus 20 is 23 or whatever I just said just then maybe this is not the best time to be writing a highly analytical academic paper. But yeah, it's hard, and I'm having to do a lot of thinking about changing how I organise things, and I've got my first therapy session tomorrow, and this is all a lot to have going on. So this one's loud. Yeah, so that's why I'm here and streaming, because I wanted to talk out loud about it, and maybe if I talked out loud about it, I would then process some more. Also aware that my webcam is wonky, and I'm sorry that will be annoying for some people. I've tried to do stuff about it, but it's not really working. I've put it on the mount again rather than just on my screen, so I've got more flexibility in what I can do with it, which is great. And I've got my ring light back on because I've got one of the things where it's connected, and it's got a much nicer screen position for me now. But it does mean it's really hard to get the camera in the right place. Yeah, so that made a weird noise. I'm sorry if that came through on the microphone. Yeah, so my goal, I think, right now, is not to do that studying necessarily. Although I now have the means to do it, because I've now got that speech recognition software, which is great. But to work out what those things are that I need to put in place so that when this happens, I can deal with it. Now, obviously, that's a big part of it, making sure that I can still work and study. So the nice thing is, like, basic computer use I can still do with this hand. It's just any time I have to enter large volumes of text, entering numbers and stuff like that, that's not a problem because I can do it with this on the numpad. But for anything where I want to talk to people or I want to write stuff, that makes a big difference. Like, I've got some emails to sort, and that includes some emails I need to write, and this way I can do that a lot more easily. There are aspects of my job that the speech recognition software won't help me with. So it might mean like reorganizing what I'm doing when. But in order to do that, so like my flares don't give a shit about what days of the week I work and don't work. So one of the things I'm thinking about doing, and for that I mean both work and study, so one of the things I'm thinking of doing is basically kicking my schedule out of the window and just doing whatever I feel I can when I can for a bit, and then tracking, because I do worry about not doing enough that way, but tracking then what I did in the way that I was doing with my bullet journal last week, rather than feeling that I have to like be online for work at set hours, or study in set hours. Obviously there are fixed things that I can't move. I could move my mentoring, but that would be weird. We're too used to 11 a.m. on a Thursday now. And my therapy slot is locked in. So there's a few things like that, and I've got some meetings that I can't move around, or my reading group and that sort of thing. But they're in the scale of my whole week. They're not huge. So yeah, I'm thinking of basically going fully flexible for a bit, and maybe that's what I need to do whilst I'm flaring, and then when I'm not flaring I can have a bit more of a rigid schedule. But I also quite like the freedom of getting up and going, okay, what am I going to do now? Because I think it works really well into playing to the things I want to do at any given point. And obviously if you want to do something, you're going to do it better. And I can't change that there's stuff that I need to do very regularly for work or even for studying. Now my hip's going. I really need this chair to arrive. And yeah, so it's a lot. It's a lot to process. And I feel bad for messing people around by saying, okay, we're going to do this one way, and then having to change and say we're going to do it another way. But I think the people around me are great with being really patient with me. When I realised last night that I couldn't type, I'm gonna get this out without crying. When I realised last night that I couldn't type, my team all started talking about what they could do to make sure I didn't have to. And then I reached a point where I'd gotten through the bulk of the work and there was one more thing I had to do, but I had to stay up another 2 hours until midnight to do it. And I just couldn't face it at that point. I needed to log off and look after myself. And I was able to ask for help, and then that was taken over for me. So it's being able to ask for things like that. But the thing is, if it was anyone else on my team and they were in this situation, I'd be telling them to do what they needed. And like, I've asked people if certain things work better for them than others. So I can make an informed decision about the best way to do things. Like, there could absolutely be a compromise. Like, I have set hours on a Saturday, for example, and then the rest of it is flexible. Because I'll be much more able to meet that than having set hours for everything every day. Like, even set hours for rest days is hard, because I've had a lot of Tuesdays and Wednesdays, which currently/previously was my weekend. But I sometimes got to Tuesday and Wednesday and was like, actually, what I'd prefer to do is finish that bit of work I have to do, or that bit of studying I have to do, and then I can have some time off later in the week. Or, you know, for once I'd actually like a day off where my husband also has the day off, rather than constantly existing on opposite schedules. And yeah, I think that's the right thing to do, and I think it's what I'm going to do. It's just yeah, it's just a lot, and I'm in a lot of pain, and it really hurts. I realise I just said the same thing twice there. And I'm really scared of, like, what if this keeps coming back? It's an incurable condition. It's going to keep coming back. And this particular version of it is, the problem is, I developed coping mechanisms and pain management techniques and stuff that were working, and a lot of them relied on me having 2 functional hands. It's not surprising. Many things in the world rely on you having 2 functional hands. I can't open the top of this water bottle right now. I have to have help to refill it. However, I have to drink from this water bottle, because otherwise, if I have to get into bed, I can't drink water because I can't reach the nearest surface. And or if I use a glass, the cat will knock it over. And it's just... it's just a lot. And I'm really glad I have this, and I'm really glad I turned this on. I'm very glad. And this is the 21st vlog. I feel like this is not really an academic vlog purely anymore. I feel like it's an academia and disability vlog, but I mean, that was always going to happen. Yeah, I might actually stop there, because I really need to stand up for my hip. One of the things that I want to work on with streaming, these half-hour ones aren't so bad, but if I stream games when I have 2 hands, I I need to make sure I stand up. Otherwise, because if I stay in the same position for too long, the pain gets worse because my muscles seize up and the joint seizes up and everything is awful. But I need to not be in this chair because this chair is ruining my shoulder and my hip. So I don't know that I really cemented any plans there. I sort of did. I got a bit closer, and I'm not. I'm too impatient. I'm too in the habit of doing things quickly, and like I professionally see a problem and solve it for people in a way that will make their lives better. And with them, I'm very quick to say, you know, it's not going to happen straight away, but I don't seem to be able to apply the same thing to myself. I only got this diagnosis 2.5 weeks ago. You know, even though I had a strong suspicion this was going to be it, I hadn't processed it because I didn't know for sure. And there is a lot going on right now. So yeah, I am going to go, and I'm probably going to go and do some more jigsaw or something similarly calming. Something not in this chair. I mean, to be fair, there's not a lot I can do with this computer right now anyway. Like, what? How many games do I play that are one-handed? So yeah, I will leave it there. Thank you very much for watching, and for being supportive. And I will see all of you. I don't know now. I'm just gonna stream whenever the fuck I want. I'll see you when I see you. I don't have a spare hand to wave to you whilst also using my mouse to change the scene, so bye.